Hello everyone, welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Steve Hall, joined this week just by Chris. Geno's looking for a house, so he's not here. Anyone in the Liverpool area, by the way, if you're looking for a flatmate, Geno's desperate, so by all means, get in touch with him.
He does bring random birds back at random o'clock in the morning.
Who bite him. Just so if you want girls, you bite people in the house.
Geno's your man.
At TD Geno on Twitter, give him a shout. Chris, what a very strange week of NFL action. There was tons to talk about. Might as well jump straight in. Stories of the week. What would you like to discuss today?
Why Adam Thielen isn't regarded as one of the top receivers in the league. Because people talk about him, but I always feel like there's a but at the end of the sentence. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, the lad's absolutely quality. I don't think there's many better route runners. There's not many people who can catch the ball as well. People talk about him like he's not fast, yet he ran a 4.4 or something like that. So for me, he's absolutely got to be one of the best, and he's working with a quarterback who's brand new to him as well. People forget that, and he's still managed to keep the production. He's breaking NFL records, 100 yards every single game in receiving so far this season. Nobody in the history of the NFL in the Super Bowl era has managed to do that before. No. He's incredible.
Yeah, I think the white guys stigma haunts him a little bit, and I also, the fact that he was undrafted, he wasn't, he didn't even get invited to the combine. He had to pay for himself to go to like a private workout in Minnesota. Obviously, he's at the perfect place for him. Yeah, because when people discuss who's the best receiver in the NFL, it's Brown, Beckham, Jones, Hopkins, Green. They're probably the five.
And then Thomas
is up there as well. Yeah,
which I think he should be higher.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Thielens outperformed all of those this year. I don't know. I think Brown's the best in the league still. I think there's definitely an argument for Thielen too. I think it's logical to say that he is. I mean, I think Beckham's outstanding as well.
There are a few of those lads, and this is the difficulty, I suppose, isn't it? Because you think about it and you think, okay, Antonio Brown, you can't cover him. You just can't. You can get separation which way about it. But then you look at like Thielen, who will line up inside, he'll line up outside, and his numbers are just as good from both positions. Exactly the same as Thomas.
3 quarterbacks he's done it with.
Yeah, I think so.
He was decent under Bridgewater. He was okay. Obviously, Bradford wasn't there long. Really good under Keenan when he started like a house on fire under Cousins. So you can't say it's all because of who he's done it with.
And different OCs as well.
Yeah, different coaches, different coordinators, different quarterbacks. I'm with you. I think he's unbelievable. He terrifies me when we play against. I said for a while. I think I even said it on last year's shows. I think Diggs is a better receiver than I said last year. I completely disagree with former me. I think Thielen's just gone up another level. It's that he just doesn't drop it. His hands are like glue.
It's those yellow gloves, mate. I think they're illegal, to be honest. Because he catches balls and you're like, you shouldn't be able to do that.
There's something stuck on those yellow gloves.
We were talking about it earlier, weren't we, Steve? The kick at the end.
The onside kick.
The onside kick, and you're thinking, he's dropped that, but he's not dropped it. He manages to get it somehow.
He said himself in an interview that was the hardest part of his game, and I think he said he knocked it down himself purposely because it was such a good kick. I had to knock it down to get it, but again, his hands are just incredible. And yeah, Minnesota having a mix season, like you've said on the show last week, they broke your heart plenty of times. But with him, with Diggs, with Cousins, I thought they looked really, really good.
They do, and a lot of it, like every NFL team, comes down to the protection. Yeah. If Cousins has got the protection, he looks good.
He's been really good.
I think one of the things that I probably don't like about Cousins, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, I do really like Cousins, but there are facets of someone's game that you think, oh, I don't really like that. Like Cousins never seems to step into the throws very often, and quite often I've seen him do it a few times where he's run into the defender in front of him and he's just a little bit hesitant, whereas I don't know, it's a difficult one sometimes, but when he's got Thielen, when he's got Diggs, and when they're running routes, he knows where he can get the ball out quickly. If he's given the protection, he'll be able to do that. I think we pay him a lot of money. Obviously, we've given him a lot of guaranteed money as well. I think we will get a good return on our investment there. I'm not worried about him long term. What I am worried about is the offensive line, and that we've had our issues, of course. We've had the injuries and everything like that. Elfine being back last week was obviously a big thing for us. But you've still got to step that up and you've still got to perform at that level, because there's no point in having a great quarterback if you haven't got a line.
No, absolutely. It's almost impossible, isn't it? If I had to rank them in terms of like who I want on my team this weekend, I think Brown and Thielen are the two that I would go for. Like, because I use Thielen in the slot as well, which he's amazing. I think if he goes in there, possibly Hopkins or Beckham, I think I'd be looking at as well. Thomas is another one. There are some really good ones. He definitely belongs in that category. I'm not sure where people do rate him. I'd love people who are watching, let us know in the comments where Adam Thielen rates, but he's certainly top 10 and he's probably top 5 and he could even be top 2.
You could almost rate them on what are the facets of the game that you really like. So Antonio Brown, what's the best thing about his game?
Always open.
Always open. DeAndre Hopkins
just goes and gets it.
Physicality, that go and get it. You know, Michael Thomas, you'd say hands, because he's probably got the best hands in the NFL. And then you're looking at Julio Jones, physicality. You know, you look at other wide receivers, let's say Deshaun Jackson, for example, it's speed. What has Thielen got that stands out?
It's the hands.
It is the hands, isn't it? And I think if he had a half yard more pace, or if he was bigger, then people would talk about him. But because he's not, I think people aren't talking about him because he's got the hand, but you still need to get into those situations. People think you need to be fast. People think you need to be physical. You need to be able to go and get it. You need to high point it. And I don't think Thielen does need to do all of those things because
he's always open.
He's always open.
Yeah, I think
because he's a great route runner. You know, those cuts at the end of it, absolutely on a dime every single time, and he'll just create separation from that.
Yeah, I genuinely think he's incredible, and I still think the Vikings are going to be good this year. I think they're going to go quite far, and he'll be listen, you know how long he'll keep getting 100 yards for. He's probably going to get it in the next game at least, and then
if we're not running the ball, he's going to keep getting it.
Yeah, especially
because we've got no other options.
Yeah, keep throwing it to him. I think he's amazing. I'm with you, man. I think he's good. My topic this week: are the Cleveland Browns good?
I don't fucking know. I have no idea. So.
I'm not sure if they're a bad good team or a good bad team. They're 2-2-1. They could be 5-0. They could be 0-5. It's been that kind of season. And in my head, I was thinking, this was going to be my question. And my thinking is, I think they're a talented team who are brought down by their coaching, their indiscipline, and perhaps the stigma of Clevelandness.
Yeah, you could be right. I think when I think about them, I think they're a really exciting defense.
Yeah,
and I think they're an exciting team all told now because of the quarterback. And I look at them and think a more experienced, an elder side would have more than 2 wins. But it's like these lads are so hungry that the stigma's not affecting them at the moment.
Yeah.
I think I'm erring on. I kind of like the Cleveland Browns all of a sudden.
Listen, when you pick that many first round picks, this is what you should look like. The fact that they kept whiffing on, on Manziel and Brandon Weed, they just kept whiffing on these first round picks over and over. And it was just like, but they've hit on Denzel Ward, who might be the least talked about 4th overall pick of all time. He's been incredible. Baker Mayfield obviously has walked in from day one and looked like a star. Myles Garrett
last year's,
Myles Garrett is incredible. Like, he's unblockable. It's absolutely outrageous how good he is. They went and traded for Jamie Collins. They went and traded for Jarvis Landry. They should be good because they've got good players. You know, David Njoku, another first round pick. They're all there. It just hasn't worked. I'm still convinced. I think Hugh Jackson's terrible.
I'm not sure anymore.
I thought because I quite like Todd Haley. I thought the play call that he ran in overtime was mad. He went for like a jet sweep on near his own goal and lost 9 yards. And thankfully Mayfield bailed him out. I'm not sure Todd Haley. I think he's okay. I think Jackson's horrendous. He didn't know the game had won. They kicked that field goal and he's going 2 seconds left. No, Hugh. The game's finished, mate. I think he's a poor. You know, the time when he tried to bench Josh Gordon and then Josh Gordon played. Because he said it was that bad teams don't do that.
No,
bad teams don't. No, the managing the clock against the Raiders. I think it was when Mayfield goes for that bomb. Good teams don't do that. And listen, Jackson doesn't call the plays and stuff, but ultimately it's his responsibility. Everything that happens to his team is on him. He's the head coach. It's why he's paid that much money. They look sloppy at times. They look indisciplined, but what they are super talented. And at times it looks to me like sometimes it's a battle between talent and overcoming the sloppiness and maybe the scheme, maybe the bad coach. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's why
you get tired.
They've been tied. They've been in overtime every other week. You know, they beat Baltimore are good. I think Baltimore are good, and they beat Baltimore pretty much on their defense. And then Mayfield makes a good couple of plays. Obviously, they had the first win in God knows how long as well. It's like I think the issue I've got with them, right, is that I think they're going to win enough games where Hugh Jackson doesn't get fired. I think they might almost be better losing more, binning him off because I think he's terrible. Getting a new coach in, whether it be then hopefully can you find the Shanahan, McVay? Can you find Nagy and Chicago who's doing well? It could be, for example, Matt LaFleur who's highly thought of or something. For me, if they win, like they've won 2 games, so if they win another,
maybe 6,
if they win 6, they're not going to fire Hugh Jackson.
No,
no way. And I really think they should. I don't think he's good, and that's my issue with them. I think they're getting held back because they are super talented.
It's too early to tell at the moment for me, because you look at it and you think, well, he is the guy who is in charge, and although he's made some questionable decisions, he's got them fired up.
Yeah.
And to be able to motivate even a young side with everything, all the baggage that the Cleveland Browns have had over the last 10, 15 years, to be able to motivate men to be able to perform at the level that they're performing at, I think he deserves some credit for that, because coaches over the last, Sherman's probably the only one who was able to do something similar with the Browns, and was it 6 wins he got? You know what I mean? It's not a huge amount, but now you look back at it and go, well, actually Sherman did a good job there, or whatever.
They sacked Mike Pettin, and then since then they were terrible, and he was widely regarded as rubbish. They've been steadily worse. I think, would you agree? I don't know, like the old regime get the credit for, they got these first round picks in terms of the actual picks, but John Dorsey's done a really good job picking the players. So yeah, he had the choice of the whole draft that he goes and gets Mayfield, and he looks perfect for them.
Yeah.
Ward was a big, they passed on the pass rusher, which I thought they should have taken, to go and take him, and he's been one of the best young corners in the league. He's been outstanding this year. And then again, you look at like sort of the free agents he picked up this summer. I think Jarvis Landry's a perfect player for them. He's always open for me.
Dorsey, he looks like a guy who's got a plan. He knows what he's going to be able to do, which is why I find it so surprising that he kept Hugh Jackson.
Yeah,
because he's got the personnel side of things down, which says to me he's got a lot of trust in Jackson.
Yeah,
and if that's the case and he's doing so good with the players, I'm kind of willing to back him on the coach as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
But I'm with you. Todd Haley's a guy who
I'm not sure of Todd Haley.
I was never really sure of at Pittsburgh.
No.
I never really understood. I mean, he had all of the pieces to be the best offense in the league and never elevated them to that level.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him to then take on the Browns, I thought it was a really strange one, because he didn't have the pieces that he had. Yes, he might be able to win a few games, but he had the best running back and the best wide receiver in football, and a future Hall of Famer at quarterback, and wasn't able to get them firing every week.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about him.
And then defensively, Greg Williams is a psychopath, but it's working so far. It's absolutely working. I'm just looking at their division out. I mean, it's a tough division. They are joint bottom with the Steelers on 2-2-1. Then obviously the Bengals are 4-1 leading the division, and the Ravens are 3-2. So all 3 teams have above 500 record, pretty much, haven't they? So whether they can make a playoff run, I don't know. Probably too early for that. But I hate bad football, and there's always got to be a bad team. There's always got to be someone who's the worst, obviously. Number 1 pick. But to get no wins, it was almost like the games are becoming unwatchable because you just turn them off. And so far this season, no one has been that stinky. The Cardinals were pretty rubbish at times, and the Bills were, but the Bills are 2-3. So I hate bad. I want everyone to be good. It's impossible to be good in terms of record, obviously, because that's the way it works, but a high level of football, and the Browns have now, who were dragging their feet along the floor, have kind of raised themselves up. They're probably a top half team. And to be fair, Jackson should get some credit, because although it was his mess, they have gone on and fixed it. So
tell you what else we should talk about this week, Steve.
Go on.
Did you see Tom Brady's comments on his radio? He always does a radio spot, doesn't he? And he talked about the NFL being more like the college game. You watch the college game a lot. It's not something I do. Would you agree with Brady on that?
I agree to an extent that offensive line play is poor. You've got to throw the ball. Running the ball in the NFL is fine. You can do it, but unless you can pass, you can't win. So I'm with you on that. The speed of the game is different, obviously, and obviously the skill levels are out of this world. And when you watch a bad college team, it's really, even the good college teams, would get, they get beat 50-0 every week in the NFL. So that's one of those. But it's more, I agree with on some. I think offensive line plays a big issue. But I was saying this on the show last week. I think that's what it is. That's going to be a thing. And defensive
CBA.
Yeah, and I think defensive linemen are always going to dominate them battles. But to be fair, it isn't the end of the world, because in a league where you can't touch the quarterback, you can't touch your receiver, you can't do anything, you need to have some semblance of a defensive team or defensive play. So if that means D-lines are winning that particular battle, I think that's probably a good thing. Because otherwise you're going to end up with 45 every week, and that's
is that good?
No, I don't think so. I think
they're raving about it on the broadcast this year, and people
love shootouts.
I'm not sure I like that.
I think if you say 31, like that scoreline, say Jags Vikings, Rams Vikings, I thought that was about right in terms of there's enough points to keep you happy. It's not 9-3, but also there's a cornerbacks making plays or there's quarterbacks making plays. What you don't want like 45. You just don't need. I don't think you need that. I'm not sure why you need. I think when points come that easy, it devalues points. If that makes sense, it's like, we score 7 touchdowns. Well, a touchdown should be celebrated and celebrated, and it's almost like it's becoming a little bit too easy. So that's I agree with Brady on that point of view. College football is just air raid now, or it's just throw.
Is it? Do you think it's why do you think it is? Do you think it's because the quarterbacks coming into this league, but now playing for teams who, the pressures, the money, everything that's involved in the NFL, it's all about win now. Do you think it's just being made easier? Pat Mahomes is a perfect example of this. Maybe slightly different because of the offense, and it is quite complicated, or at least it appears to be quite complicated. I'm not sure it actually is when you get down to the play. Is it now a case of, we need to win now, we don't have the time to get this guy bedded in for 3 years like Aaron Rodgers, who will learn this offense fully? We need to just win now somehow, some way, and the easiest way to do that is to build a playbook that our quarterback can understand.
Yeah, and I think that's what good coaching should be. Bill O'Brien did it with Deshaun Watson last year, and it was brilliant. And this year, the Texans playbook looks more pro style. They've got Watson in the pocket more, and that isn't his game. I think that's bizarre. I think play to your strength. So even with Cam Newton, for example, there was talk last season once we're going to get Cam standing in the pocket, he's going to be fired, he's going to be dinking and dunking, and after 3 weeks they thought, well, screw this, because although it might protect the fella, he's kind of not way protecting it, but we're doing that. We let him run, and they've let him run, and Cam's been pretty good since. So I think it stems from the fact that the offensive line play is dreadful, because it's the same in college. They're not allowed to practice much anyway, because they've obviously got studies and there's time limits. They come to the NFL and they can't do anything. There's no off-season work where you can get your offensive linemen in the trenches and just teach them and drill them. And I understand why, because listen, that's the way of the world, where they're looked after. I think it's a detriment to them, if I'm honest. If I was an offensive lineman, I would want to be in there. Even like the best ones who come out of college, and some of them are amazing, but like Quentin Nelson, when I watched them against the Patriots, just got through all the way. And he was dominating college football, and he's really good, and he's going to be great for the Colts. But even he looks a little bit ropey at times, because he just hasn't had the reps.
Are we getting, because college football, as you've just said there, it's all about the throw-in.
Yeah.
We're getting offensive linemen who can pass protect, but aren't able to block for the run.
Yeah.
Now that's detrimental in its own way, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because now you're asking O-linemen to do something, and it's not only quarterbacks that are coming into this league. You need to be able to, if your O-line are all used to throwing the football, well, you're not going to get them into a running
side. They're used to one-on-one blocks. They don't see stunts, they don't see twists, they don't see none of that. They don't see half the stuff like the NFL guys throw you. And then you come in, and then say you get drafted into the, say you get drafted into the AFC West. And then here's Von Miller coming at you. Or here's Joey Bosa coming at you. It was Khalil Mack until the Raiders decided he wasn't any good, which is, good, probably not wise, but fair enough. That's hard. That's really tough. You've never seen this, and you've not allowed to be able to practice against it. Your practice time is so limited. That's what the issue. That's the main issue. Is that's why I think you see this quick strike. There's no way you want your quarterback in the pocket for 7 seconds, 6 seconds. He just isn't going to happen. Pass rushes are too good. Even the worst pass rushes, if you're not there in 3 or 4 seconds, you're in trouble, aren't you? So I think teams are terrified of getting their quarterback hurt, So it's like, well, if he's gonna get hurt, we need to just get the ball out as fast. Look, and Brady's the perfect example of it. He's adapted so well to. He's got no running game really. His running game is often dump off screen passes to White or whatever, Sony Michel. So I think that's the league is where it is now for two reasons: the CBA and the rookie pay scale. That's what makes this league. If you could practice more, I imagine scoring would probably come down a little bit because teams would run more because they wouldn't be terrified of getting no yards on a run. And then the rookie pay scale is basically, let's draft all these kids and get them playing to win now. And like what
because we can build the rest with experience. We
can pay X, Y, and Z. Well, so we're the Rams. We can get Ndamukong Suh in, and we can pay Aaron Donald, and we can get Peters, and we can get Talib, and we can go and sign Brandon Cooks. Why? Well, because Jared Goff's in and relative pittance. In a couple of years' time, when you have to pay him, then that would change.
I suppose the Cowboys are almost a perfectly bad example of this.
They should be so much better
because they paid all the money to the O-line. Have two rookies behind them, yet that O-line's not performing at anywhere near the level that it should be.
For a team who have got their two best players, or arguably most important players, are on rookie wages, and Dak's on very, he's a third round pick. I think he's on not much at all. Fourth round pick, he's not much. They don't have much talent.
Nothing.
The line's talented, and obviously they've had injuries, which is fine. So Smith's amazing, Martin's amazing, Frederick's amazing. And then obviously Zeke is fantastic. They've got DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's about to be a free agent, so they're going to have to pay him at some point. And then other than that, you're thinking, where's the money? Like, where is it all?
It's on the O-line. It's all on the O-line.
Which is fine. So then if your money's on your O-line, and this was my last topic I want to bring up, is working perfectly. Why the hell did Jason Garrett punt that ball in overtime? 1 yard on the other team's 42. Your team is built for that line and for Ezekiel Elliott. That's what you're built on.
You don't trust them.
You can't trust them. When you punt that ball, what you're saying is, I want to tie this game. Because you're not going to get the ball back. You're either giving them a field goal opportunity, or you're making them, because they're not going to give you it back. You know what I mean? So by kicking that ball, he's thinking, I'll have a tie. And he hasn't trusted the one thing of his
team that he should be trusting.
I found it bizarre. When you see Sean McVay, young coach, balls out, Seattle, fourth down, goes for it, wins the game. The week before against the Titans, Eagles, Mike Vrabel goes for it, wins the game. Even the Colts go for it, and it didn't work out for the Colts, and they ultimately lost. But I still think it was the right decision.
But the thing is, Steve, the reason that Garrett hasn't done that is because he's had the phone call from Jerry Jones to say not to do it.
He's a terrible. He's the worst coach in the league, I think. He's up there, him and Jackson.
Have you seen All or Nothing with the Cowboys?
Yes, he just claps.
It's really bizarre. I think he seems to think that being an accurate thrower of the ball at age 50 and having that, like, I think it was in the first episode where he was having that competition with Dak, and you're like, are you really trying to one up the kid who's running your offense? I mean, that to me said backup quarterback with mental scars from being a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than you, Zach. And Dak's looking at him going, yeah, no, you're not. No. You never were and you never will be.
He doesn't call plays. He doesn't call the defense. He doesn't call the offense. He's there. His job apparently is to manage the team and manage the game. He's horrendous at that. Like, he's really bad. How in the world he's allowed to punt that ball? J. Joe should sack him on that. I thought it was absolutely absurd.
He has managed, and I know it's not just him. The Jones family and Jerry Jones in particular have managed this talent decline at the Cowboys. A couple of years ago they were full of talent. I know Witten's retired and all that, and Des Bryant had his issues with the organisation, stuff like that. Romo obviously went, but that partly because of Dak Prescott and how good that draft class was there. But now it's just a complete dearth of talent. There's just nothing there. There's no wide receivers. Cole Beasley's your best wide receiver.
Tavon Austin, Alan Hearns. It's just like guys who you've kind of heard of and been subs on your fantasy team for like bye weeks.
That's it. That's all they are. But they're America's team. They should be. They should have. If nothing else, they should have the big stars. Odell Beckham should be there. You know what I mean? Those type of just stars and pure talent should be there getting paid. Like, it's absolutely mental. They've got the facility, they've got the stadium, they've got the prestige.
They haven't got the players.
Not any players.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think it's a shame as well, because I think that I think the league's better when Dallas are good.
Yeah.
I think when Dallas are good, the NFL's better. Just a personal opinion of mine. But shall we move on to why we're idiots?
I can't remember.
I'm happy to go with why I'm an idiot, because me picks the Raiders on the road to beat the Chargers. And I thought, why? And I thought, because they're going to run all over them, and it's, oh my goodness gracious me, the Raiders are a disgrace. They are just so bad, and I'm not even sure why. I can't, it's hard to know why, other than the fact that, well, I do know why to an extent, because signing old players to run your scheme tends not to work when you come up against better players. You know, Phil Rivers is openly mocking them. Did you see that at the line of scrimmage when he says, like, you're in base defense, are you? Virgil, run the seam, and it just froze into bit. Like, he's literally he's telling you you're rubbish, and then telling you what he's going to do, and then doing it. That's like, to be fair play to Phil Rivers, that's the ultimate disrespect. I'm fine with that in a division game. The Raiders are 1-4, and they look every bit a 1-4 team. And I was an idiot for thinking that they had a chance against the Chargers, who, you know, when you look at the Chargers' record, they're 3-2, but their losses are Rams and Chiefs, who might be the two best teams in the league. The Chargers might be really good.
And yet we've been down on them again.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm an idiot for the Raiders/Chargers crap picks that I made last week.
I'm going to be an idiot this week for picking... Well, I picked the Raiders as well, so I'm an idiot for that. I'm going to be an idiot for actually thinking that the Atlanta Falcons were going to do something this season. At Pittsburgh.
They're so injured.
I know they are, but they're 1-4 now.
Yeah.
They've been in some ridiculously close games. This wasn't one of them.
The doors blew off, didn't they?
I mean, they were just absolutely shocking. And maybe I'm an idiot for not thinking that the talent could get through on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't. I don't understand either of those teams at the moment.
I get where we stand. I'll be honest. I get the Falcons. I think the next man up mantra in the NFL is really good. I understand it. You know, it's like, so if next man up you play, you're in. You can't lose 6 starters on your defense. You just can't. It's just impossible. The talent depth just isn't there for them, and that's what they've done. They're struggling up front. They've got no pass rush left. They've got no linebackers. I mean, the Steelers were just open all day. They've got guys who just can't cover, and they came up against Antonio Brown. They just couldn't.
But this is they're not exactly going up against the Jaguars defense here.
You're talking offensive. Why can't they play offensive or defensive? So?
No, both. Yeah. So defensively, you're right. I think, you know, those injuries are obviously a massive thing. But they only scored, what was it, 16 points, 17 points against the Steelers.
Because the team had the ball all game. That's the problem.
But they kept putting in the touchdowns, so they kept giving it them back. Yeah. You know, they kept putting it in the end zone. They kept on having opportunities. They just weren't able to score.
Yeah,
they've been in shootouts while they've had these injuries.
Ryan's playing quite well, hasn't he, up until that point as well. Their season's dead, and I don't think I think they're done, and they might get a high pick, and then they might, if they get everyone healthy again. I picked them to win the Super Bowl this year, so that's my fault. I've jinxed them, but why am I an idiot again? But it might not be the worst thing to have one down year. It might not be at the end of the world, as long as they keep everyone healthy and bring everyone back. They just give Julio a little sweetener, didn't they, to keep him happy. Matt Ryan signed up for the long term. I'm not long term. I think Dan Quinn's a good coach. I'm not worried too much. They're just too injured, and so it happened to Washington, I think, under Kirk Cousins, when he lost all his offense and they just couldn't move the ball. There's a certain point. Even my team the other day lost 2 receivers, and the gap between the two. So Allison was out and Cobb was out, and we've got St. Brown playing, and it's like the talent level is just so big between 4, even between 3 and 4. So if you get down to 7, 8, 9 backups, you've got absolutely no chance. I feel for the Falcons in that sense. But them's the breaks. I mean, injuries happen, and you've got to kind of just play on. But I do feel really sorry for them and for the fan base, because I think the season's pretty much done. But picking them I'm not sure why you did that. To be honest, I'm not sure why you did that.
Because I don't rate the Steelers at all.
No, yeah, me either. I think, let me make sure I didn't pick them actually before I started laying into you. I did not pick them so far.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, should we do pick them this week?
Let's do some pick them this week. Sure.
Eagles, Giants.
You're not going to dance?
I've got to dance.
Chris lost 80 points.
What should I do for me dance? I could do a Liverpool style celebration.
You do that.
Okay.
Oh God.
Catch me legs, lad.
Absolutely not. Oh my god.
It's a Liverpool celebration. There's got to be limbs everywhere.
Okay. Jesus Christ. There you go. That's the dance.
After that.
That would kill me.
Yeah.
Kick me head. Well done.
And at least
for a man of your age, yeah. For a man of your age, I was highly impressive. I was terrified. I was like, what is happening here? Right, let's go first then. Eagles at Giants on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah, the Giants are a mess, I think so as well. We might look like idiots now if people are watching this on Friday, but the Bucks at those Falcons.
Bucks for me. not twice on the bounce.
I've gone for the Bucks as well. I just think they're going to score too many points, and they're going to put up a lot of points, and this could be a shootout because the Bucks defense isn't particularly great either. But who's covering Mike Evans? Yeah. Who's covering Deshaun Jackson? Who's covering the tight ends?
I think we might have to be drafted in for this one.
I mean, it's, James coming back into a division game, you'd think, but it isn't the worst team to come up against, is it now?
They've just come off a bye as well, haven't they? Yeah. So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game
against a very injured Falcons
with Winston at the helm in that. Yeah,
I think the Bucks. Those Steelers who you don't like go on the road to face the Bengals.
I think the Bengals are legitimately really good this season, and I think they're going to have far too much for the Steelers on both sides of the ball.
I think the Bengals will. Do you think this is going to be typical bloodbath? Steelers Bengals?
No, only because Ravens Steelers wasn't.
Yeah.
Either, and
Vontaze Burfict's back.
Well then, yes.
He might.
Well then, yes. Because if Burfict's back, he'll do something. He'll get thrown out the game, and we'll be on to the next one.
I wonder if there's an odds some dark bookie somewhere. I'm like, which player Vontaze Burfict is going to try and decapitate? I think Antonio Brown is odds-on favourite. He's going to absolutely try and break his neck.
Yes. He'll try. He won't
get near him.
Nowhere near.
Keep an eye out for Vance McDonald. I think he's in trouble this week.
What's the over-under on this?
On terms of...
Alright, let's say, who have you gone for?
Bengals.
Okay. How many points by?
Oh, I think 3, 4. I think it'll be quite close.
I'm going to go 10.
Just a big
Bengals blowout.
A big Bengals blowout. There we go. Let us know if you think there's going to be a big Bengals blowout.
That sounds like something from your searches.
I've googled that.
Except it says cougar.
Yeah.
Not a Bengal.
Don't Google blowout cougars. I mean, do if you want.
Big cougar blowout.
Put your private browser on, I think.
Private browser and your VPN.
Those Chargers who I backed against go on the road to those Browns who we think might be good.
I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. But I'm tempted to pick the Browns. I really am at home.
I think the Chargers have just got a running game. And I think that's going to be massive. You know, Eckler and Gordon and Rivers and his weapons.
Eckler's been good, hasn't he?
Eckler's been really good, like, and I just think that's going to be too much for the Browns. You know, yes, they've got a good defense. Yes, it's explosive, but you know, having those 2 running backs run it down your throat, and then to have the play action off the back of that with Phil Rivers, I think it's going to be too much for the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers as well, but I think it'll be close. I think that again might be a ±3 type.
Well, they all have been. Cleveland, every one of Cleveland's games pretty
close,
much has been, hasn't it?
Overtime. So. Bills off a win go to the Texans, both 2 and 3. So someone's getting to 3 and 3.
I'm going to go home team on this one.
Yeah, 2 bad teams. The Bills seem very up and down, don't they? So this is where they're due to be down, I suppose. Yeah, I'm going to go Texans as well. The good Bears 3 and 1. Yeah. The Dolphins, who might be good, I'm not too sure, at 3 and 2.
I'm going to go Dolphins at 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Although the Bears do have Cohen back, don't they?
Yeah.
They've come off a bye week as well.
Yeah.
So we might see some improvements from the Bears.
Offensively.
And hang on, the Dolphins have lost the last 2 games on the bounce, haven't they?
Yeah. They were 17-0 up against the Bengals.
Do you know what? I'm going to change and go to the Bears.
I thought we had a difference then, because I've had the Bears as well. I think Khalil Mack's going to cause absolute mayhem. Tannehill, I don't think Tannehill's played particularly well this year. And the Miami offense is maybe the most boring in the league. They're doing me head in now. I think Gase is a good coach. I'm sick of seeing people just throw short of the sticks. It's annoying. And I don't think the Bears offense is particularly great either. Again, I know they had a great time last week when they scored, 2 weeks ago when they scored all the points. But I think Khalil Mack's like an MVP candidate at the moment.
Yeah,
and I think he might wreck this game as well. Cardinals at Vikings. I'll go fast and say Vikings.
Yeah, it's going to be the Vikings all day, mate.
I don't think the Cardinals are particularly good at all. 1 and 4 Colts at 2 and 3 Jets.
I haven't picked this, so can you go first and convince me one way or another?
I've gone Jets at home, and I think it's more. I think they'll be able to run it on the Colts a bit. I think the Colts are better than the 1-4 show, and they've been quite good. But I don't know. I'm picking Sam Darnold with Andrew Luck, which terrifies me because I don't think I should be doing that. I think the Jets might just run on the Colts. That's why I picked the Jets.
That Jets defense has had a couple of mad games, hasn't it? You know, the last game they went crazy. The first game of the season they went absolutely crazy. Yeah. In between they've not been very good.
They're not a good team.
No.
I don't think the Colts are a good team either though.
I watched the Colts and enjoyed watching them for the first time last week.
Against the Patriots on Thursday, they were quite good.
And I really enjoyed watching
them. And
he
had nobody to throw to.
I know, exactly. But that's still going to be an issue for the Colts. So, you know what? I'm going to back the Colts. I am going to back the Colts.
Why not? Fair enough. Good luck with that. The 2-3 Seahawks on the road to the 1-4 Raiders. I'm not sure these are two very good teams either, by the way.
No, I don't. I still harbour hope that Gruden can get it right at Oakland, but as each week goes by, I'm starting to think he's just a fucking dinosaur, to be honest with you. And
I hate the visor.
Yeah,
I don't like it. Put a cap on. Just my way.
Go back to advertising Corona and shit.
Tony Romo stuff.
I know. It doesn't feel the same.
No, I'm not a fan.
He's too good at it.
Yeah.
I always felt like there was just the shittest person.
I need some more wood in there. I need some more terrible acting. Get Gruden back on the side. And terrible announcing. Get it back in the booth as well. He might be better than Jason Witten though.
He definitely will be. And it still winds me up that Witten's got that fucking thing down his back.
Yeah.
Although I've got to say, I said last week about Bugger and it being shit. Now, I didn't actually realise that his chair moved along the sideline as well. So I now love Monday Night Football.
Just watching Bugger moving along.
I mean, it's basically the greatest chair anyone's ever had. You remember how excited I was when we saw that chair outside the NFL?
Yes.
In London, and I got up into it. Yeah. Imagine how excited I'd have been if that moved.
And had a seatbelt.
I
like Bugger. I think get Bugger in the booth.
And to be fair, I thought the conversation did flow. Last time
I'm not a big fan of Witten.
No,
he's very boring.
My issue with it was the conversation never flowed properly because he wasn't with them.
Yeah,
but it felt like a Skype podcast.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, and you know that and then someone starts talking. But I did feel like they've overcome that last week, and I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed the
hashtag get Bugger in the booth as well.
Bugger in the booth, and I'm going the Seahawks.
Yeah, me too. I'm going Seattle. Panthers at Redskins, both two pretty good teams. The Redskins just got their asses handed to them by the Saints.
They got killed, didn't they? And they weren't able to get that run game going. And you know, Peterson, I'm not sure.
Alex Smith, by the way, can I just say, he threw Peterson into an injury.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that was a bad.
He had Alex Smith is another one who he likes his dump off, which is fine. He does that. He's got a habit of doing that. You know, throwing receivers into trouble. He didn't play well at all, and
Smith was overthrowing the ball, underthrowing the ball, not seeing. You know, that rookie intercepted him, and the Redskins were particularly shit. And you know, a mate of ours, Ian, was chatting to me about them, and I was really looking forward to watching them because I hadn't seen a full game of them so far this season. They really were disappointing.
They were good against Green Bay as well.
Yeah, but they got the run game going, and I think that's what it comes down to. You can't get behind, and maybe the Panthers aren't a side that are going to blow you out the water first couple of possessions. Yeah. But regardless, they need to do what they're good at, and what they're good at is running the football, and then they're letting that open up the passing game.
Who have you gone for?
Smith. I have gone for the Panthers.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of like the Panthers again.
Yeah, me too. Rams at Broncos and Rams. Yeah, move on. Jags at Cowboys.
Jags.
Yeah, me too. Again, Bortles is had a game because he's got that in his locker.
But yeah, game the week before.
You know what? I've never seen a quarterback from week to week whose technique changes. Usually you've either got good technique or you've got bad. Like in the middle of games, he loses his motion, he loses his foot. It's really bizarre. And it can be on just a particular drive goes and all of a sudden his feet are a mess or his arms are a mess, and it's absolutely bizarre.
But that says to me that his mechanics are naturally on good,
and he's thinking them through.
Exactly, and that's the issue. Like I used to play tennis, not at a very high level, but I used to play for Lancashire. And I used to have a tennis coach and stuff like that, and he would try and change my mechanics. And again, this is at no level, compared to what these lads are doing in the NFL and stuff. But whenever I was serving my own way, the mechanics weren't right, but I was more accurate. And whenever I tried to do what the coach was telling me, I just fucked it up all the time because I was overthinking it and stuff like that. And I imagine that Tiger Woods is a great example of someone who's changed the mechanics of his swing over the last few years, and only now is he getting back into form. If you're having to think about stuff, if it doesn't come naturally to you, it can just fuck it up.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas beat the Jags. I wouldn't. But I think Jacksonville are going to win. Because I can't see them scoring. I can't see Dallas scoring enough.
I think...
If I said to you, Jags get 16 points.
Dallas don't win.
Yeah. What's the line? What do you think Dallas can score on Jacksonville? 14? 10? 14, I'm thinking maybe.
14, yeah. 14. But they need to just feed you all the time.
And you're just running them into that massive Jags D-line. So it's all the best.
On that, and a completely random aside, I was going to bring it up earlier on in the show, but you reminded me again. I was playing Madden the other night, and one of the commentators... who does the commentary on it? I forgot.
Charles Davis, maybe?
Yeah, it was Charles Davis.
I love Charles Davis.
Right, and he said, I scored a safety, and he said there needs to be more than 2 points on a safety. And I couldn't tell you, I could not agree more with a fictional commentator than that, because it's not even worth a field goal. And how hard is it to score a fucking safety in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's make it 4.
Why not just give it the whole 6?
Make it a touchdown.
Yeah, why not? It's so fucking difficult to do. Why is it worth less than every other point scoring opportunity?
Good answer.
It's the hardest to do.
Yeah.
And you would get so many better punters. It would change the dynamic of things down there. Like, do you risk going for that field goal from 54 yards, or do you pin them deep and try and go for a safety for 6 points?
Yeah.
Be quite interesting. What do you think?
I like it. I'll tweet fictional card to Charles Davis and let him know. No, I'm with you. It is bizarre that it's 2. I've always thought it should be at least 3. It's harder than a field goal. Yeah. I hate field goals. I had the conversation the other day where
we really hate field goals at the moment as well.
Fucking Mason Crosby. My thinking is kicks. My argument was kicks are too easy. And they're having too much of an influence on games. This year they're having too much influence because all the kickers are terrible, pretty much. But true. I think that if you get to the halfway line and kick a field goal or whatever now, which Graham Gano did, for example, is that
what you want?
No, is that enough? Are you rewarding someone for getting the ball to the 50?
Yeah.
Where I wouldn't be against banning field goals. To be honest, radical as it is, keep extra points if you want. That's fine, but just don't have them. You either score a touchdown or you don't score any points at all. Maybe and 7s for safeties. Why not? But yeah, I'm with you. Man.
6s because you get. No, it needs to be thought out. I don't think you get the points after because you get the ball back.
Okay.
So maybe it's not 6 that you give them. Maybe it's 4 or
and 4 on the ball.
And 4 on the ball back. In it. And is it the Denver kicker who's now doing the drop balls? Fucking hell, mate.
McManus.
How is it the Denver kicker who's doing it? The punter? Who's taking kickoffs fucking Australian style?
Yeah. Is it with Denver, I think, yeah. And he's just whacking them through the...
Mate, how fun is that? How fun is that? Like, did you see the one the other day where he basically pinned them on the fucking 2 with a fucking drop ball?
I think he's got them as well. You know, he's really good, the Seattle punter.
That's the guy I'm talking about. That's the guy I'm talking about. The old Aussie Leeds fella. Oh my god, he's fucking class.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love that.
Let's move on. We've got sidetracked a little bit there. Ravens 3-2 at Titans 3-2.
Ravens.
I've gone Titans.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. The 5-0 Chiefs at the 3-2 Patriots. I've gone Chiefs. I don't know how they're going to stop them. If anyone can, Bill can. But until Patrick Mahomes, until someone shows me, and even the other day, he kind of got slowed up the other day, and he just unleashed Travis Kelce. Yeah. It like break glass. Okay, I'll just throw it to the tight end who no one can cover. Who in the Patriots is covering Travis Kelce over the middle? Patrick Chung, maybe it's
not really. Okay, I base this win on the fact that New England Patriots at home.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I don't think they're as bad as everybody actually
thinks
they are.
They're not bad.
And the coach is better.
Yes.
And the coach has always had his number.
He has.
And the quarterback's better.
He is.
And for those 4 reasons...
The Chiefs' defence isn't great. And yeah, I can see why. I can totally see it. And
also, Brady has an incredible habit of proving that he's the best.
In big games.
Any fucking level.
Step to my yard.
If you've got Pat Mahomes going in there as now MVP candidate for the league into Tom Brady's backyard, I'm sorry, Tom Brady wipes the floor with him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because that's what he's done. And genuinely, if he doesn't, that's the first time that I can remember that Tom Brady's been ousted and will. And you may as well give Mahomes the MVP.
Yeah, if he goes 6-0, yeah, I agree. And then the beat up 49ers travel to Green Bay to face my horrendously I said last week they're going to the Super Bowl Packers. They're lucky to get a cereal bowl. Fucking dreadful. But yeah,
I'm still going Packers.
Yeah, so will I. I can't see CJ Beathard beating Aaron Rodgers until it happens. I'm going to say it won't happen. Chris,
pleasure.
It was pleasure. Jeno, I hope you find the house. And again, like if you fancy a lad who'd like to get bitten by Brazilian women, so come and live with you at TD Jeno. I'm sure he's desperate. He'll do anything for a room. The unwritten rule on the road. We'll be back next week, hopefully with 3 of us, unless you've invited Jeno to your house and murdered them, in which case there will only be 2 of us forevermore. See you later.